You can quickly change a worksheet and perhaps add a little flair simply by changing a font design or the size of a font. The title in cell A1 here is a so-called Broadway font. And of course, we can see in the font group on the Home tab the current font being used. Cell A3, for example, uses the default in Excel, the Calibri font. Recognize that when we do click on cell A1, we see this choice. And with the drop arrow, we can certainly explore quite a few others. And as we slide over these, we're not clicking, of course, we can see quite a few different choices and see them as they will appear on the worksheet. This could be a real time waster if you're not careful. There are just so many choices out here. And again, you use the choices that fit your particular needs. Easy and fast changes there for sure. And the color of them can be changed just as easily with the drop arrow that's to the right of the font color button. And here and there we slide across different choices. And with white backgrounds, generally we want to choose a darker color for readability purposes, like this one, for example. And there will be times when we want to change multiple cells. Of course, just hide a few cells. And again, explore some of those many options. If these colors are not the ones that you want, you might want to explore using different themes or possibly click the More Colors option. And you've got 127 color choices here, along with some blacks and grays as well. If you would like all of these to revert to the more or less standard font colors, then there is a choice you may have seen there with the drop arrow called Automatic, and it simply uses the black standard background there. I would strongly suggest that you not change the colors of numerical cells, particularly in accounting environments, because there are standard techniques there for making negatives appear in red automatically. And although it may be a little bit of trivia, in Excel 2010 and Excel 2007, the standard font is Calibri size 11. In prior versions, it was Arial size 10. And as we look at the two next to each other here, they certainly look very, very similar in style. Slight difference here and there. A small point, but one that could be confusing. This cell here actually is size 12. We see that by looking within the font group here. We see it's 12. This is 11. But when you do highlight a cluster of cells and you're wondering which font is being used and what size is being used, you could make the mistake of saying, well, it looks like they're all, what, Calibri 11? Well, that is the size of the active cell, but the others are not necessarily that. And so by changing this, of course, we are saying make them all be 11. And of course, this one now is 11 as well, too. If you do want to save a little bit of ink here for printing purposes, you might use a different font called Century, and you'll find it in the list here, too. And somebody did some research on this. Bold. If you want to use 20% less ink, use this particular format. So there are quite a few different formats to be sure. The sizes are easy to get to. And we're talking about those easy to reach buttons in the font group on the Home tab. The most important one is for changing the font color, if that's your focus, or the actual font itself or the numbers, all together here on that font group.